Even if the skies get rough, I'm giving all my love, 'cause I know you're worth it. That's cool. Like I said not long ago, well, hello everybody. Nobody's here yet, but I haven't been rolling that long. But I said recently that a couple times that I'd like to start and end each podcast with the song, but sometimes the songs don't seem to be on hand, on in mind, and unfortunately, I can't. Um, have the radio playing or podcasting because YouTube won't like it. Um, I do have some good news though, and I don't want to get excited too soon, but I think that it is likely. Um, I just need to give that a like instead of a heart because it sounds like there could be a bit of a wait, which is hard. Um, but and actually, um, I live with somebody, and I'm also very much kind of this way myself, but not currently the case in my life. And it's early. I haven't been awake super long, but it's okay. But but no, I'd rather it be this person because yeah, I think the type of business she has though I don't know, but just general. Going to be having a guest on the podcast hopefully soon, and it'll be about owning a business. And what's the good thing about her business? Well, good thing in the terms of doing the podcast is that she her store is busier in the warmer months. Although I don't know if that means they're not open when it's not warm. Um, but and she's yeah. Anyway, so yeah, let's have a chat this morning. I mean, it's morning here, but um, you know, always open to it. But I keep doing this because I know that there are people that need it. There are people that have things weighing on them that need to talk about it. It doesn't really matter who you are, male, female, whatever, even pretty much age. We all, some more than others, and sometimes in life more than other times, but we all do. And it's a sense of purpose. It's a sense of purpose. So you're not seeming to mind, and I appreciate that. And maybe I shouldn't say them, but I feel like I'm using the cell phone right now for a certain reason, but I'm on the laptop. So, um, but yes, so feel free to join into the chat. I haven't been rolling real long yet. Um, and we'll see kind of where things kind of how they unfold. Um, what also inspired this? Oh, which reminds me, what also inspired this, and then I'll stop talking so you can especially focus on your comment, is that, as I sometimes say in the videos, at this chapter in my life, and it looked like this was going to change, I'm not sure, but in this chapter, like soon, of my life, I mostly have acquaintances, and not a lot of living local family. I don't have a big family to begin with. So and it was not really a biologic relative, but one of them just recently passed away. Um, Two, you could say, because Elaine wasn't that much before, maybe a year ish. But I just need to check my email quickly about something. But couple things. Oh, and I need to send Justine too. But watch, be like, hey, what are you sending me? That's my name. um, but there's more than one of them in the world. Um, Although I've only known two. And the ironic thing is that one of the ones I knew, uh, let's just say this. Um, Her boyfriend has the same name as me, and it's kind of a unique name. He spells it differently, I think. But anyway, we're not here to talk about my name. My name is C in the CMG. Okay, before I forget, just because I'm nice, I'm just gonna send something to somebody to cancel. And I almost typed her name, but it's actually, she goes by the name of the thing she works for. I thought it was Callers. Anyway. Well, we had somebody there for about 4 minutes, but maybe they couldn't keep up with what they wanted to ask, or were unsure how to ask it, or whatever. Wanted to come back later, and you know, I don't know. Or maybe because I seemed distracted, but I was multitasking. I mean, technically, I could still do it and then kind of go from one rate to the other, but I don't really want to do that. And also, no. um, but I know that people aren't shy to talk about their chapstick. If you're curious, chapstick. If you're not, to talk about the chapstick. No, to talk about what they're going through. I think most people, even if they've never heard the phrase before, would realize what ails you means. Um, it's a bit of an old phrase, I suppose, but especially considering the rest of the title. Just trying to set up a bit of airflow here. Hawaiian Brie is specifically called the brand name. I just noticed that. I haven't had the thing that long, but yeah. Well, that's a little less than a month away, I believe. See, I pretty excitedly start to do the prep for these interviews, and I don't have a lot of them planned up yet. Um, um, because I enjoy it, and because I'm eager and excited. Uh, and it's something that's always kind of on my mind, watching, and even with fellow YouTubers, perhaps it could be cool, but watching for people to perhaps kind of do a podcast with. I mean, if they're chatting in the chat, then then there is that. I'm not Dr. Seuss, I promise. I'm not even a doctor. No, just kidding. um, that joke didn't land with you, apparently. No, just kidding. But no, I mean, I always kind of keep my, but sometimes not super strongly, because it's not something I'm actively doing where I'm looking for the next one to keep. I don't know. I don't know why. I just don't. That being said, it might be something worth looking at to see if there's anybody I've recently chatted with because I thought something interesting about them that maybe I still don't know what he does for work. It's like it's top secret. I almost think he said that before, but someone I've been talking with for quite a while. Yeah, I'm thinking about future podcast guests, but also the topic of this video. So if something comes to mind, don't be he left. Um, I don't know. Upon a quick look, I'm not saying really seeing anybody that really jumps out. Mind, some of them I don't know much about the people. I mean, this guy is a filmmaker, but it started off okay, the conversation, and then he kind of was wonky. And I believe he actually, it's ironic that this is coming out considering something else I said earlier, but I believe he dated my friend who passed away. She didn't pass away because he dated her, and it was very brief. But as I sent to um, him, just a moment, just a moment. Sounds like she's better off. Hey G, can you hear us? Konnichiwa. Can you give me the laptop charger, please? Also, he's got the ball behind the thing. What? 1 minute, please. And I hope I didn't just hear what I just heard. What are you saying? Oh, okay. Coming. 1 moment, please. As Leanne is by the thing, Grand Central Station. Take that and try that. All right. Now, we love our dog, and he gets lots of love, but he also gets annoying sometimes. Oh. Oh. You can stop barking for that. Yeah, leave that thing. It'll be good. Okay, like seriously, either that or go upstairs. I'm not in the mood for shit. Thank you. Pleasure doing business with you. I think he's got the other one laying around. Sorry for the distraction. There was nobody here when it happened, and there still isn't. So. Sorry, he gets so silly sometimes, and he got a new ball today, and he's fond of dropping it behind something. He sometimes also doesn't drop it behind something, like he could get it. Sometimes he does, and other times he barks at it, like he can't figure out how to pick it up. Just because if it's a little close to something else, but like in reach. But then other times, yeah, he drops it behind something, and that's not as great. Well, it's going to be a bit of time before we have a nap, so since we just got up and all. So I guess I'll make a bit more coffee. Yeah, like part of me wants to do it on a day that I don't plan. I guess we'll just have to see. The sun's trying to come up, and part of me, like I say, he sees lots of dogs on the dog walk. And like I say, we feel bad for them because at this place that we bring ours for grooming, kind of like YouTube sometimes. Sometimes people have their dogs there during the day while they're at work or possibly on vacation. And as G and I were talking about, they often seem to kind of get ignored um, unless they're really hyped up, or whatever. I mean, they're amongst each other, which maybe they don't otherwise get a lot with very busy people that barely have the time to walk them. But if they think that they walk them there, I'm not so sure. It's not a lot of grassy area there, and I don't think so. But so my both of us feel bad, but one of us can just feel bad about it. I've worked there, but it's a little. You never know certain breeds, and it's a little bit. I don't know. That's it. But I get what we're going to be doing, picking up after their. You know what? I'm good. I get our dog. You know? Not super hot, but we're going to. And yeah, they kind of just stand behind the window or in the enclosures and watch people coming in and out. For like mostly for grooming and nail trims. I mean, maybe some of them are there for that too, and some of them are probably there every day. I have seen some neat dogs there, though. We saw a really interestingly spotted one the other day, but she said it looked like he hadn't digested food, and this way, right as he was going to go approach him, he didn't understand. He didn't seem to realize that the lady was kind of holding her dog back across the street. But it was a neat-looking dog, and he said, "Is your dog friendly?" And next thing we know, ours are being a little hyper, but we're going to let them meet, and which is a good segue for something I want to do in a moment. I watch JJ, and yeah, I got sick, and it just didn't happen. But yeah, so I don't know when I want to do that, but I guess we'll see. Since nobody's here saying anything at the moment, I guess I could say something myself. Yeah, so what sparked it was actually something kind of interesting. I came across somebody's photo, and then it looked like the site was reloading, but it went back to their page. And they did post at the beginning of the month, but I came across somebody's photo who was standing in front of the Letterman studio, David Letterman. So I thought, oh yeah, he interviews guests. I would still like to. So, like I say, it looks like I might have one for like the second week in October-ish. I probably won't start prepping till October, and that is like 2 weeks away. So I could stand to book another one or two, whether it's off of this site or the great YouTube. Well, this could be. I'm guessing he used their services, and that's why he posted about them. They don't even say where they're located. Not where. Okay, yeah. Okay, almost went back to me. But yeah, so what I was gonna say is that I was thinking of watching some JJ, and I love her. It's weird. She's always on about people getting work and this and that and the other. But yet, I mean, she's not the one that compiles a lot of the ones I find. It's true, but she's got like 3-hour videos and that. She doesn't understand struggles that some people have because she's too much on her pedestal. I love her. I do like her in some ways, and it's interesting to see how she interacts with people. There's something about her personality that's interesting. But well, beautiful hope. It's a good title for a song, isn't it? Well, just yuck, yuck. And honestly and truly, I wasn't. It didn't say what his career was, which is usually my starting point for that kind of thing, or a hobby. I wasn't really getting a whole lot there, so maybe he's harder than Jay. I am not, but anyway. But at least it's a nostril piercing. It's a very interesting ring, engagement ring. I guess it would have to be an engagement ring and then a wedding ring. Ring, chicken ring as well. No, because why isn't one enough? Um, can't believe I didn't say this sooner. Um, especially if things slow down for the summer. Um, I don't these days, but I can't believe I hadn't thought to ask her, tell her that they wouldn't be that long, and so if something becomes available sooner, and if she knows anybody else, that might be good to ask as well. Um, I mean, possibly him for the work he does, but he hasn't seen the message I sent back early September. At the moment, maybe it's just because I still have morning eyes. At the moment, it's not jumping up or anything. So, but this group that I'm in, although I clicked the wrong one, and I'm wondering why I'm seeing a picture of a cat. But this group that I'm in might be might be a good one to. What do you guys think of? I don't know if it's called asymmetrical hair or lopsided hairdos. Somebody types, "I love it because I have such." Yeah, I'll roll for another. It's only been 23 minutes. Feels a bit longer. I'll roll for another about that, maybe a little bit more, and then I'm gonna wrap up. Put a bow on it and wrap it up. I mean, it's kind of bright out there. We'll see. We'll see what errands we end up doing today. I guess. Um, somebody says that in this post, which kind of fits this topic, this group. Uh, somebody says in this post that they came across these, whatever you want to call them, do remember where. But I wonder if she means don't. I wonder if she doesn't mean do. um, really don't know how to explain what's going on inside me. It's not just sadness, it's a heaviness I just can't get rid of. Smiling feels forced. Talking feels like a chore. But it's necessary, sometimes I would say. I keep saying I'm fine because I don't know how to say I'm not okay. How about that way for a start? you know, um, waking up feels exhausting. That's the other thing. She's very, you know, time wise. Waking up feels exhausting, but I don't know. Anyway, so, oh, like again, and but anyway, um, yes, existing feels empty. Yes, sometimes. And some days, I wonder if anyone would know if I stop tending to what hurts the most, not even knowing where it hurts, just that it always does. Oh, I think they do know, and I think you do too. This is powerful. It says my body aches, my heart feels heavy, and my mind is tired of replaying everything I've been through. Well, not everything, maybe, and some of it's good, right? But people see me standing, they see me surviving, but they don't see the tears I cry when I'm alone, the nights I can't sleep, and the weight I carry in silence. Every time I look over here and then briefly look up there, I think I'm seeing a one for a moment there. And I promise it's not wishful thinking. I think it's just my eyes. Well, maybe it's a bit wishful thinking too, but I think the tattoo says it all with that one. He's actually got a nice smile. Why didn't he use it in that group where he's introducing himself? Maybe he figures out people in this group might be desperate enough they wouldn't care. I mean, but maybe he was really happy there. He looks like he has a sparkling beverage. Looks like he's got a cat there and he doesn't look as happy, but anyway. Give me live music in farmers markets, real conversation, 90s style coffee shop meetups. At first I thought, because it was all on the same line, that part was on the same line, 90s style coffee. I'm like, what's that mean? I wasn't drinking coffee in the 90s. Actually, I probably wasn't. Maybe the late 90s, but yeah, I'm showing my age. I wonder how many kids drink coffee. Most of them don't need it. Unless it's because they drink coffee that they seem like they don't need it. Come on, come on, peeps. There's all kinds of gems in this. Come and enjoy. Have a cup. Well, this might be in the States, I'm not sure, but if somebody's making $900 an hour, they shouldn't spend $400 on a friend. For, for stupid things, too, like gaming. That's just silly. That's an interesting phrase. Becoming who we're meant to be one step at a time, but knowing the steps is the hard part. You know, they aren't always readily defined or easily defined. That's a very interesting spot for a piercing. She's dealing with sobriety, so maybe she got it when she was drunk. I don't know if I've ever seen a piercing there. Certainly not like that one. Yeah, that's a little sketchy. No posts. She's got over 1,000 people following her, but she's not following anybody. And she only has 7 contacts. I do want to do something else soon, but he was distracted, although with a haircut, yeah, I don't think it's a great plan. But as far as in this group, is that more successful than YouTube sometimes is, as far as like feeling helpful and chatting? Maybe I haven't been in it super long. That's a great last name to have right now. And I think a lot of comments haven't been seen, but some have gotten likes or hearts. So there's at least that. Oh, 1 minute. Go back for a moment. Ugh. I guess I have it behind. Unless it's that guy, but I don't think it was. Sure, it's an interesting statue. No. Well, I mean, I almost understand it considering what he wrote with it. Why he doesn't look happy. I do everything for everyone, and I just continue to feel sick, depressed, and not myself anymore. I just gotta say something, and I'm gonna not show the kid. I don't think the tattoo is that unique, although that part might be. But this is one big arm. Does it want to show? Okay, that's fine. Just believe me. I wasn't showing his face, his name, or his kid. But that's a big arm. That's all I'm saying about it. The type to be there for someone who wouldn't even think of helping her is how this one feels. Whether that's accurate or not. Interestingly, I had seen that post before, but I'd forgotten. But it's a silly question, and there's lots of people reacting to it. It's a silly question. I mean, this group is established because lots of people feel that way. Anywho, but none of them are on this video. Weird. I suppose, it might be one of those that if somebody was just randomly, and I am multitasking, but I'm watching to see if sorry. Um, I was kind of saying something, and I got a little bit distracted, and now I don't remember what. It is interesting, though. Although I did say look what they could do. It's interesting. The what do you call it? What do you call it? The for some reason the word dichotomy comes to mind, but that's probably me just saying a fancy word that might not actually make sense for this example. But it's kind of interesting how I'm in this group, and the admins don't think that other people should be calling people beautiful. It can simply be a compliment, you know. And if you know, if people decide they're interested in each other and want to see where it goes, I mean, it can sometimes work out. Like they're adults; they should be able to decide. Um, I think people see things as being creepy in that way more than it actually is. There's other things that are worse. Yeah, like I say, it can be a compliment. But anyway, I kind of co-admin the group, and I was talking to one of the female admins, and I'm bi, but I happened to notice this guy. He had really nice big arms. I was mentioning that, wasn't I? And I said, "Unclearly could do some damage or give good hugs." He said, "Okay, I'll have a look." Smile. Um, but I mean, she's obviously either hetero or a bi woman herself, so just like me. Just kidding. So I mean, she it might spark her curiosity, and she might be a single mother. I'm not sure, but for some reason, I think that a lot of women would be okay And I'm not saying it's necessarily bad either, thinking or talking that way towards men, but men doing it to women. I mean, it's a whole, some people say, oh, we're only giving them back. But again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. If it's really pushy and aggressive and the other person isn't seeming interested, that's where I'd say that there's, something wrong with that. But some people seem to not some don't. Some people actually feel the need for it, but some people really seem to struggle to receive compliments these days. I'm not really sure what that's about. Maybe it's they have bad self-esteem themselves. I don't know. Man, the architecture of some buildings, I tell you, is so cool. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. It's been disappointing. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be nice enough for me business or not, but I'd rather them do that than I think. But about that and that thing is to start talking about. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great either. I've talked on this channel before about one of the mental health services in our area. I mean, one, it's hit and miss. There's a lot of people that work there. Sometimes you get the same one, sometimes you don't. But it's the question they feel required to ask, even when it's not appropriate or what doesn't really make sense to. Um, and then there's also people with bad communication, people skills. You know, you know. But you know what? I can't be too sad because at least there's this group I'm in where people are looking for people to talk to, and they are often struggling with something. So there is that. But you know what? I think this is a great avenue for it as well. Also, a stupid group rule is don't message people without permission. Well, I guess you could say, "Can I message you?" But I think most people wouldn't mind, especially if there was, you know, if the person was trying to be helpful and was being friendly. Like, anyway, I kind of think 43 minutes rolling, and the dog's being a bit hyper, obviously. I kind of feel like 43 minutes rolling is plenty of opportunity for someone to come in here and express their troubles. And if they don't want to do it, I can't make them. You know? And I'm not going to do it myself because actually I do sometimes, but the two things, there's some good stuff coming up too. But the two things that I've kind of got in my mind are not really stuff I want to talk about on YouTube. I don't know where, if I might. This group, maybe? I don't know. Something that that G has been doing that makes me uncomfortable. However, he's less likely to do it, except for on the weekends, but the weather is changing. Less likely to do it once it goes back to work. And then the other thing is something I read that somebody posted, and do people not realize that they think they're sounding funny sometimes or whatever, I suppose, but do they not realize sometimes they're actually sounding more odd than funny? No, sometimes they don't. And it wasn't anything personal to me, but however, it may have affected the person. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up because the dog, I don't know if he's back in the foyer now, barking for his ball behind the thing. and I could get it for him, but there's 2 cases of water and a piece of furniture I'd have to move. Not a big piece, but and he's likely to put it back there. So it's either that or he's at the steps looking out the window and barking at things he's seeing. But either way, it's a bit distracting. So, but he had his walk less than 2 hours ago. He's got food and water. He's got love. So he's just as great as he is. He's annoying sometimes. Anywho, just like I can only hope that people might comment afterwards and share something, and I can try and be there for them. Because it certainly didn't happen when we're rolling live. But even though it wasn't a full hour, I think it was, and the dog did get quiet. Maybe I should try for it to be a full hour, but I kind of had something else I wanted to do as well. I can always move that to another window, and I do have that playlist up. But yes, so I want to welcome anybody to this channel who stumbles upon this video. I'm curious how you came across it, if you've been to the channel before, and it is true. I'll just say this. It's true that sometimes, oh, we got a like. Thank you. See what I mean? Sometimes waiting an hour or almost an hour is worth it. Somebody will come in and they give you a like and they're joining the chat. And they might even subscribe if they haven't subscribed yet. And then they take the like away, but I don't know if it's intentional. Like sometimes waiting does. Oh, they put it back. Thank you. Who do we got watching? I'm curious. I'm glad to have you here. I've got the chat on. Sorry, our dog's being a bit noisy in the background. And then you unliked it again. Please, no head games. Like, be better than that. You wouldn't like somebody being confusing like that towards you when you're trying to put yourself out there and do good for people, strangers, even. I don't know if it's all that relevant that it's, for people that, I don't even likely know very well. But, because I have a good heart and I want to be there for people. Sometimes I have a topic or songs that I'm doing, and other times I'm just here willing to chat. Thank you for putting the like back. Now don't take it away. And you're not gonna, this is the thing too, you're not gonna like absolutely anything anybody says, probably. Even people close to you in your life, every now and then they're gonna say something that's kind of like, well, that was, and that I wonder if I just gave myself a bit of advice about something. I don't know who's watching, and it's a little bit awkward, so I don't really want to talk about it here, but we can talk about, anything you're going through. But yeah, again, apologize about the dog. Just before you tuned in, I was saying, he had his walk less than 2 hours ago. He's got food and water. He's either dropped his ball behind something that he's likely to drop it behind again if I go get it for him, or he's looking out the window and seeing things that he's barking at. So, yeah, no matter who you are, no matter what your gender is, because I know that some men think, oh, we're not supposed to talk about our feelings, but we all need to, as far as I'm concerned. We all need to. And as lots of people say, keeping it bottled up isn't necessarily helpful either, right? I mean, we're all humans. We all go through stress. We all go through difficult things in life. And I think what's most important is being there for each other as best as we can be to make it a little easier. I am curious if that person oh, yeah, it looks like maybe. Yeah, so, and I realize that you don't know me, but again, I've already said I have a good heart, that I don't mind helping a stranger. I don't get to super often, but when I do, it feels good. not just for me, but hopefully the person I'm helping as well. You know. Now I understand sometimes, again, or at least it looks like it, because it's flashed a bit, but it's also been kind of consistent. I'll just wait a moment. I understand sometimes we have more than one thing going on. We can talk about more than one thing, or you can maybe say what's the most strongest thing on your mind, or the thing that you're struggling with the most, if that makes it easier to. There are some struggles that we have as people that are very common: financial, work, family, maybe something to do with education. But even the things that seem less common are actually fairly common. I want you to know that I'm not here to judge you. I mean, I may not necessarily agree with something that you say, but again, we're not always going to agree with people in life. Um, but we would find common ground, and yeah, hopefully you would find some help and solace and solution. We can brainstorm, and yeah. So I'll let you maybe put a comment. I'm just gonna sit here patiently for a moment. That being said, like if it was me, as I mentioned a little earlier before you got here, I've got some good things coming up. I talk about some of the other stuff sometimes on here. There's a couple things on my mind right now, but I really don't think I want to talk about them here. So I could understand if you're feeling that. Uh, and then the person unliked it. They're like, oh, well, I was actually hoping to be here and help you, but I don't like that you're telling me to be open, but I'm not being open. How do I put it? Let's just say there was more than one person watching the video last night, and I believe one of the ones who's on my mind, and again, it wasn't anything personally that they did to me, but or um, may have subbed, and so it's kind of like I don't want necessarily him to see it, and it may if he sees this 52 minutes in, it might not be you, but it might be, but it might not be you. But I just don't know. But if I said what the thing was, he would definitely know it was him. It is one of those kind of unique ones. Um, and the other thing, if I could think of anything else, if it's easier for me to go first, I would say, what type of advice would you give? And don't be on YouTube so much, because I mean there's a lot of benefits to being a content creator, and you know putting yourself out there on YouTube, whether it's with music or something like this or whatever. And I live a fairly balanced life, but like somebody, I was trying to remind somebody today that like they were like, you steer the car essentially, and it's like, yeah, but people have to meet us at our destination, because and you might just be, although I think there's another, although no, in the corner we've got hearts and other emojis but not likes. You might just be like, oh, I like that, but then you let it stick for a while. Anyway, it's all good. But yeah, has to be at the there to meet us in the car, or whatever metaphor you want to, because sure, there may be some things in life, but very few things are a, for lack of a different way of putting it, solo venture. Like, I want to be a photographer. Yeah, I could do various types of photography. It is true. And I should do it more. It is true. Especially before winter comes. And then the real laugh. But what I'm most interested in is people and pet photography. Well, the pets can't say themselves, yeah, I'm in. The owners have to, let them do it. And, you know, it's why it's tempting sometimes, if you see somebody who has a cool style or you think is attractive, to just send them a photo, because it's kind of like, it's easier than, because they may say yes, they may very likely say no. It makes you feel like you're kind of working that career without having to approach a stranger. It's easier with something like that, perhaps, or it's easier with something like this than with something like that, perhaps. And that may be a bad example, but whatever. As a musician, you know, there will be times when that's a solitude thing, but it's also very important to have an audience, live or digitally. Um, as a life coach, sure, I can do all kinds of stuff for myself, give myself advice, and that's great. And I'm sure sometimes it's helpful. Sometimes it doesn't matter how helpful it is, the next steps are still hard. But even better when there's somebody else involved. I mean, my friend knows this. When she asked, she knows this. Just a moment. The dog's being distracting again. Because you're not even looking out the window. I don't know what the problem is. I know, but I don't feel like getting it if you're fixing to do this again. There's lots to do. I do see it. You don't have to do anything. Okay, except it went underneath, but now I do. Oh no, I got it. Now stop it. Seriously. What can I put there to make you not do that? But you don't like it. Okay, anywho, yeah. And those are three of my big ones. And again, like, I did not take the ball from you. He's running around like he's looking for the ball, but I just gave it to him, so I don't know where it is. Seriously, dog. Right now you're being super annoying. Like, seriously, I don't know whether I just gave it to you. Like, seriously. Maybe I should be a magician. Anywho. I'm sorry. All I can do is give it to you. If you've now put it somewhere else, right here. Right here. Okay, turn the end. Get over here, like the ball. Much as I love you. So anyway, I'm also a little bit annoyed that, I rolled for almost an hour and nobody. There has been a couple people that have stayed for a little while, and that one who kept giving, because he was the only one there. They were the only one there. I could tell that. Giving and taking the like, giving and taking the like, and not saying anything. I don't know if they truly intended to leave and keep the like there this time, but it looks like it. Maybe it was an example of, I'm not sure what I'm thinking of the vibe of this guy, of this individual. But there is something that I like. There is something pure. There is something about his heart. Not to toot my own bugle, but there is something pure. There is something about my heart. So it's only the truth, folks. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing that it hasn't been more than that. More positive, more helpful. I can only hope that after the fact. But as I sometimes say, it seems like more often for me in this channel, if there's any activity at all, except for maybe some views and a couple more likes or whatever, if there's any activity at all, it seems to be during. So, and then sometimes it's quite a bit. But anyway, I do have to go upstairs, and then there's something else I want to do. So I think I'm going to wrap this up now. But yeah, that what I said a moment just before the dog and the ball thing was very much, something that I'm, how do I put it, often faced with. I forget what my someone I was talking with today said. they asked me a question. I can't believe they also didn't know what triggers went. But what are you expecting as a reward? I said success. Um, I mean, she's this friend, as great as she is, she sometimes talks as if she's just saying something general, like she's just saying one of her general phrases that she'd tell anybody when she knows me, and that's what's annoying because she says you need to have a course to start towards. She already knows I do many of them, and it's weird. She's ADHD and this and that. And the very first time I met her, not because of anything specifically, but we were getting to know each other, and I think I probably showed her my business card, and she said, the only thing is that you've got so many different focuses, and if you narrow down, but even when I've had one be more stronger than any other, it's still hit and miss, mostly miss, because there's a lot of competition out there and this and that. I mean, for her, it's kind of worked. Although I would say when she does certain type of coaching, it becomes a bit more broad and general. If I think those are have the same definition. Um, um, I'm not going to say she's not talented in other things, but she's not paying attention to those things, I guess is what I would say, as much. Whereas I kind of am, because it just makes so much sense. And I would hate to ignore one of them, although sometimes tempting. And also, I don't want to limit myself. But yeah, it hasn't exactly. But I don't think that's why it's not been working either. It says have a destination. Yes, I'd like to be getting career opportunities in these things, and then I will see the outcomes. I will see the benefits. I will see the I will know that I'm doing well, and then any of those things that have a like this video is soon to have like a start and then an end, whether that's one photo shoot with somebody, one project, one client, you know, who sees you as long as they need to, and that's it. Even though it might be bittersweet, then it's kind of like, okay, I've reached the destination on that one. It's also so much easier when you have lots happening, because then it's like, okay, next. I mean, it could be harder too, probably, but it's like next, as opposed to when, need, so to speak. Like lots of time. Where's the stuff? I mean, truly. But I think I'm going to wrap up now, because whether it was helpful or not, I don't know. I've mostly been talking about me, because there's not been anybody else here to talk about or talk with. Um, and sometimes that's the case, sometimes it's not. But and people can say sometimes you need to talk about yourself, focus on yourself, and I agree. But with those hotlines, and just in general, I do that plenty. Thing is most of the time, even this friend, like I mean, thankful that she keeps trying, and that she's a friend and there for me. But it's kind of like she can either comment here or in messaging. But it's kind of like these people aren't miracle workers. I mean, like they can hope for the best. They might not. I mean, I'm so vast. And I mean, truth be told, this friend has been on my podcast. Let me be on hers about so not only help me by doing my podcast with me, but let me be on hers to talk about something. Although I think it had maybe 2 or 3 likes, and I don't think it had any comments other than me and her. But anyway, um, I think her channel is quite a bit smaller. Um, but and I could tell that she does care. She was supposed to pay for something recently for help me out with something, even though I think I realized that it may be for null, but if that place stays standing and that organization I'm waiting to hear from gets back to me, then there's hope. But anyway, I am feeling like I need to rush upstairs, and then I have some other things I want to do. But yeah, hope for humanity. But and so again, I do appreciate that. But what I need is, I know someone who'd be interested in this. I know someone who'd like this. Oh, you should contact so and so. I know something. And also, here's a few steps to take, in order that makes most sense. It's not that I can't see the steps, but sometimes I can't. And sometimes you just don't have the connections you need at certain points in life. Or you may have one or two, and through those one or two, you could gain more. And the power in helping each other to a great goal for the betterment of all, because you'll feel good that you were helpful, and they'll feel good because you were helpful, and etc., etc. That's what it's really about, folks. Anyway, going to wrap up. Talk to you later. Bye. And it can be digitally too.